Hello everyone, I hope you like my new wall of greatness. It's got movie posters from last year. I thought I needed the background, so a kind man who owns a DVD rental shop in Norton at Malton gave me some posters, so yeah, looks fantastic I think. Right, so because this week there was only really The Woman in Black released on DVD and there weren't too many films at the cinemas that I was too interested to go see, so I thought I'd do a section now for underrated films or overlooked films that you don't really hear of now. And the first one I would like to start with is, you ready? 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. So 1 Hour Photo is about a technician called Cy who works at a 1 hour photo lab. And he's a very lonely man, he doesn't have any friends, and his only real reason for living is a family called the Yorkins, who he has developed this obsession for over the years as he's been working there. It's really creepy. He gets like a copy of their photos and he pins them up on his wall. He's got this wall just full of their photos, and it's like he's a member of the family, and they are literally his only reason for living. And the film is about this obsession and how it develops and almost becomes deadly near the end. The film stars Robin Williams, and this is a very different kind of role for him. Most of you will be used to seeing him in his warm-hearted roles. Mrs. Doubtfire, for example, an absolute classic in my eyes. Complete opposite here. The film was made in 2002 and it is the same year that he made Insomnia, which is another film where he played a very dark role. If you have not seen it, shame on you. It is a brilliant film, please watch it. This film is very hard to categorise because the first half is more of a drama. It just shows a day in the life of a lonely man, and all of a sudden at the halfway point the film just turns into a thriller and it begins to show this man's descent into madness. I'm a fan of Robin Williams. I mean, who isn't? He's a generally funny guy. If you watch the special features on this, he's talking to the director. He seems like a very good comedian as well. I have not seen any of his stand-up, but I intend to from this. He seems very funny. But like I say, he's not funny in this film. There's a few funny parts, but they're not intentional, I don't think. I think I was a bit weird for laughing at these parts, if anything. Robin Williams is the highlight of this film. His performance is easily what makes this film so great. I remember the director saying in the commentary that he wanted his character to just not be very standout and seem just very an ordinary person. And it comes across this way. The character he plays is just a very ordinary guy. He's the sort of guy that if you saw on the street, you'd think he's just a genuinely nice guy, But behind closed doors, he's completely different. Just like in Insomnia, he's a smiling-faced killer. It's just very, very disturbing to watch this transition from, ordinary guy to behind closed doors, this madman who pins up pictures of this family who's obsessed with and creates these fantasy worlds that he lives in, and he indulges in these fantasies for hours. As you might have guessed, the majority of this film is spent with Robin Williams' character Cy at his workplace, but there is also a good amount of time spent with the family who he's obsessed with. And at first glance, they seem fine. They seem like a really nice family. The little boy seems really cute, really well brought up. But then again, seems like one of the themes of the film, that at first glance, look like an average, fine family, just like William seems like a fine guy. But behind closed doors, everything is not fine. The father is neglectful. They are not a happy family. It seems like this is one of the main things the director wanted to create in the film. The idea that everything is not always as perfect as it seems. Okay, so we've established that the performances in this film are good, Oscar-worthy I would even say, but they are not the only great thing about this film. The story is very intriguing, but it is also very slow-paced. Now, I love this. I think films are too quick to get to the point nowadays. This film has a very slow pace. It uses lots of long takes, lots of beautiful tracking shots. So when the film gets to its halfway point, it suddenly turns from a drama into this really sinister thriller. Now, if you have not seen the trailer, please do not watch it because it gives away a bit of a plot twist and it's better if you don't know it. But the pace obviously quickens at the halfway point, and I did prefer it when it had a slow pace, but still this creates lots and lots of tension, and some of the events are quite disturbing, and it succeeds. Even if it's not as subtle, it's a bit more full on, it is still just as effective. I'm not really going to say too much else without, dragging things on and giving things away, but I will say one more thing. This film is quite frightening. Now, you might not be scared while you're watching it. There are probably 2 scenes in it that will shock you because they are a bit out of the blue, and one of them involves gore, and it is the only bit of gore in the film. And it was probably one of the most shocking scenes I've seen in a film in a long time. I think it's impossible to watch this film without thinking of the film Peeping Tom. Now, if you've ever seen this film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because it has the same feeling as Peeping Tom. If you have not seen it, it is a classic from the 1960s, and I would highly recommend that you watch it. It uses the same tactics as this psychological thriller. It is frightening, but the horror is not in your face. It's very subtle. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because it's very similar to this. But it's after the film is finished and you just think more and more into it. I mean, I always think a little too much into these films, I think, but you're thinking about it and you just think how realistic this film is. You know, you get horror films that just aren't realistic, or films like this that are just dumb and stupid and you think that wouldn't happen. But in this, you know, his motives for doing this, I'm not going to give it away, but they're entirely realistic. I don't doubt that there are people out there like him, and that thought frightens me quite a lot. So that's it, and I hope you enjoyed my review, and if you have not seen 1 Hour Photo, please watch it. If my review has not made you want to watch it, then seriously, why not? I've not said one negative thing about I've got to stop doing that. One negative thing about this film. Seriously, I don't think I've ever done that. So with that in regard, I am going to give this film, you ready? 5 Dans! Oh yeah! And this is the face that it will be for 5 Dans, and this is me very excited. So I mean, it's not often people see this, but this is me extremely excited. Yeah, there we go. It was only brief, so I don't embarrass myself anymore. But anyway, yeah, see you next time. But this is me extremely excited.